letter from the Gantry.
Recently, I was invited to a meeting at which medical specialists, representatives of top European leagues and players' unions, like the internationally recognised FIFPro, discussed their fears over the workload for top players, with the upcoming extra games in the Champions League with a new format, and particularly FIFA's expanded Club World Cup scheduled for June 2025. There is a huge increase in clubs taking part in this FIFA showcase, from 7 in the 2023 edition to 32 in 2025. It will be staged in the USA, but only on the East Coast, to make the time difference as workable as possible for the European broadcasters whose financial resources FIFA are chasing. The format will be very much like the actual World Cup, 8 groups of 4, top 2 in each going through to the round of 16, etc., etc. It will run for a month, finishing on July the 13th. Chelsea and Manchester City are the 2 qualifiers from the Premier League, based on winning the Champions League within the last 4 seasons. 12 of the 32 clubs will come from Europe. Now, the odd-numbered years have been recognised as summer downtime for elite players, but this competition, designed of course to be a money spinner, will stop that. At the meeting I attended, there were interview clips from star names voicing their concern. Kylian Mbappe, for example, spoke for many when he said that the top players will participate, but you can't expect them to operate on full power when there are so many extra games. The fans, therefore, would not get full value for money. We are talking, I stress this, about the core players at very successful clubs. Manchester City played 59 games last season, Liverpool 58, but Tottenham only 41. Spurs weren't in Europe and went out early in both domestic cups. But you do have to add in the international windows and the travel, often long distance, for those on regular call from their countries. The meeting put out a warning that it is possible for a player to be involved in 80 matches in the 24-25 season. Now, this is not entirely new. For example, in the 2012-13 campaign, Oscar, in his first season as a Chelsea player, took part in 86 matches, starting with winning a silver medal for Brazil in the 2012 Olympics in London, and finishing with a winner's medal in another international competition, the Confederations Cup, 11 months later. And 6 of Oscar's Chelsea teammates were also around the 70 appearance mark. FIFA is being challenged on the dangers of an excessive extended workload occurring every season, almost being begged into a rethink. But as I understand it, there's been absolutely no response, a wall of silence from the game's ultimate governing body, which is why there is a threat of a players' strike. Virtually unheard of, certainly in England, since the Professional Footballers Association, the PFA, promised industrial action against the Football League in January 1961 over a maximum wage policy, which had been severely limiting earnings for footballers for decades. The league caved in, the players had the law on their side, and there has been no maximum wage since. And over the 60-plus years since then, players have had increasing power and considerably increased pay packets. But the colossal wages of nowadays will not evoke much public sympathy on today's issue. But an annual calendar, which provides for very little downtime, can't be right. Mbappe was talking of the wear and tear on the body, but even more wearying is the mental strain. Players have never been paid so handsomely, but the world that has created this boom also demands accountability in performances and results. Any loss of form or drop in standards is instantly under the microscope, and sadly, as we know, not all the criticism is constructive. The players should not be put in a position where strike action is even considered. The game's various stakeholders should be able to produce a calendar which considers both domestic and international interests. This problem, of course, is not caused by a decline in interest, but by massive popularity. Football has never had it so good. But self-interest could kill the golden goose. There could be a tipping point. For example, the Premier League, a phenomenal success, is now facing legal action from one of its own members. And however well the high-performance directors and medics explain the reasons behind it, a players' strike will not go down well with the public, but nor will watching obviously fatigued footballers. It is time to get all the game's influential administrators into the same room and bang some heads together.